Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to use this remote remapping device. Whether you're going for a level 1 tune or something a bit fruitier like a level 2, 3 or even 4, you're going to need the relevant remapping software to go in your car. This device means you can load it on at home with ease. This is how to do it. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do it on Wraptor's Thirsty Kirsty XFRS. And the first classic. First thing you need to do is put the battery on some sort of voltage support. So you need basically a battery charger. You don't need it flat out, but we don't want the battery dropping below 12 volts. Bear with me while I get to the battery. If you watch us regularly, you'll probably recognise this car as Dustin's, blitzing all sorts of other cars on track. He carries around a lot of stuff. He's in there, a couple of breeze blocks, a pet hamster, a cuddly toy, a dishwasher, a holiday to France. Remember that generation game? No, too young. Anyways, battery, here it is. Some cars have got like jump start ports under the bonnet, like the F-Type, which will be easier to get to if your boot's full of rubbish. Here's ours being worked on at the moment, so you could put battery support on there, positive on there, and negative pretty much on any shiny bit of the engine. Where's the negative? There it is, in disguise with the bolts we've got off at the moment. Anyway, this one, let's get it on charge to keep our battery voltage nice whilst we are trying to load on new software. Do your neighbours complain that your car's noisy? They haven't heard anything until you drag a trolley jack across a gravel driveway. Now I'll show them. Positive on to the red wire. So you always go red to red, black to black, okay? Not the other way around. Negative. Cool. Okay, plug this in and turn it on. Now this is a workshop like charger, you know, so charge your stuff quickly. You don't need a charger anywhere near as big as this. A little one will be fine. I'm gonna put it on medium. There we are, that's done. Then you're going to need your phone, and try not to get distracted with Facebook or Instagram or any mind-numbing stuff like that, but totally get distracted with our YouTube channel. Sign up, subscribe, click the like button, click the bell icon. What else do people tell you to do? Just all of that stuff. Do all that. And you'll need to download the AlienTech Powergate 4 app. And I'll show you how to do that now and what to click on and things and stuff. Alright, we've downloaded the app. Let's open the app. It's going to talk you through, well, exactly what to do. So connect the Powergate to your vehicle's diagnostic port, and that will always be somewhere near the driver. There's some European rule thingy that it's got to be within the meter of the driver's position, and it's usually somewhere near the pedals, especially on the Jaguar Land Rover vehicles. Okay, pair. Connect the cable to your Powergate and plug it into your diagnostic socket. Done. Once connected to the vehicle, your Powergate will be powered. Yep, we've got blue lights on it. Follow the instructions in the app to pair it with your smartphone. Well, as far as I know, this is the app. Enable location data. Okay, if that's what you want. Enable Bluetooth. Just check those things. Bluetooth on, Wi-Fi on, portable hotspot on. Next. Yep, that one there. I'm going to go for the phone's own Wi-Fi, which should be the password we retrieved earlier from the phone itself. But you can, there we are, you can connect to, of course, your home Wi-Fi or works Wi-Fi, or your neighbours if you know the password. Okay, let's keep going. So, you'll have some pre-made lists. So This particular tool has been configured for Jaguar only, but you know, if you're working on a different brand of car, then other brands will be available within the list. But this one we've just prepared for Jaguar only today, so that's what we're working on. It's not diesel, it's a petrol, and then you can select the model. So we're on an XFR, and we're on the sort of newest shape, 5 litre supercharged. It says 510 brake horsepower. This is a 543 brake horsepower variant, but that's okay, it's still the same animal, there's still the same ECU. That's going to work absolutely fine. It's more whether it's compatible to speak to the ECU. And all the XFRs with an 8-speed gearbox, they have the same ECU. Just like all the XFRs with the 6-speed gearbox, they have a different but all the same ECU. Okie cokes. So it's giving you some advice there to turn all the other electrical components off. So, you know, we're going to have our ignition on, but let's keep the fans off, let's keep the lights off and things like that to keep that battery voltage as high as possible. Let's continue. Got it. Right. Next. Turn the ignition on. So we're not pressing the brake pedal, we're not starting it, we are just turning the ignition on. So all your dashboard lights come on like that. Reduce the drain on the battery and turn some bits off like that. Let's continue. Lots of loading bars. You can enjoy them like watching paint dry. Okay. It's identified the car and it's exporting the data from the tool into our phone. Telling me to turn the ignition off. All the lights gone off the dashboard. And continue. Identification successful. You will need to read the control unit. Yes, let's carry on. Okay, then the next stage, we're going to be clicking the next icon down. Yeah, and next. Thank you. Turn the ignition on. Again. Well, as I'm here. Okay. Proceed with the reading. So now we've already read the identification of the ECU, but now we're actually going to read the mapping that's on the car, and that's going to send it to us via the technical portal. If you saw that, the wiper blades just went droop droop, and it's quite usual where things can happen. Although we're turning the ignition on, the dashboard lights have gone off. Some other electrical things may happen. Don't worry though, as long as you've got good battery charge, just let it do its thing. It's going to turn some electrical items on and off all by itself. That's quite normal. Just to reiterate, at this stage all we did was turn the ignition on, leave it alone, and let this do its thing. So now we can watch some more paint dry or a loading bar, your choice. Okay, well, while that's loading, we're now at 2%. Maybe you could do something with your life, like learn Japanese or fix global warming, or maybe go and have a poo. Anything that's helpful. But you can't look at Facebook because you're using your phone on this. Now what do you do? When you're usually bored, you just phone out, Facebook. Now what are you going to do? Doesn't it feel weird? Doesn't it feel weird? Just listen to me speak nonsense, if you like. We're on 5% now, guys. Bear with me. Been up to much lately? Oh, what's your favourite car you've ever owned? Whack it in the comments. There you are. That's something for you to do. Now, if you've got one of these, you can keep it forever. You can only use it on one car at a time. Basically, you have to pay to get it reset, and then it will use it on another car. But if you just want to keep it on this car, you can use it multiple times. We can upgrade and change your files, no problem. You can load multiple files on this, so you can have up to 5 files. The first one is always the original file that was on the car already, and the 4 additional ones are ones that we could supply. So you could have a performance map, you could have an economy map, you could have like a pops, bangs and crackles map, you could potentially have one for race fuel and stuff like that. You could have one in slow mode for, you know, when your wife or your kids drive it. Yeah, you can down tune them if you think that's safer. all sorts really. So basically you'll follow the instructions. It will get you to turn the ignition on and off multiple times and load in between. The car will probably do funny things in between, like work the wipers, ignition lights off and on, random clicking noises, possibly faults on the dash. Don't worry, that's all going to reset by the end when the performance map is loaded back on, or you've backed all the way out of this tool and it's no longer plugged in. Worst case, if you do retain a fault, then probably do just a battery reset, or delete any codes with the diagnostic machine. But you find also when there's faults on the dash, sometimes a short drive, the car realizes it's all okay again and the faults go away. So if that happens, don't be scared. There's multiple easy ways to fix these. Your car isn't broken. It just needs to realize, oh yeah, all is well, and it'll work just fine. Now, after all that, it's finally done it, and it's exporting the red file to us at Wraptor. So we will receive this automatically, and we'll use this to identify or create a performance file to send back to you to load onto your car. So basically this is going to lock this PowerGate remapping device to this vehicle. If you want to go ahead and actually tune your car, you need to go and do this. Now obviously these are way cheaper than the remapping tools we have in our workshop, so they are for use on only one car at a time. So you will need to go ahead and do this, but in future we can unlock it at a small fee, and that will allow you to use it on another car. But it does mean you have to put your current car back to standard. That's just all that's inbuilt into these little units, okay? So anyway, go ahead, click confirm. And now that tool belongs to this car, and you can have multiple maps on there ready if you so wish. So the ID of the ECU that you read earlier and the file that you read earlier will then automatically come to us here at Wraptor. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to save it and email it or whatever. It's all built within the tool, within the app. So I receive it on my screen. I've got that ID here, and I've got the read of the current map on the vehicle. That allows us to create and prepare the correct performance map suitable for your vehicle, and we'll send it back over to your tool. Right, I've loaded on lots of different maps for the customer. Usually you may only need one map, but obviously you've got the potential to run different maps for different applications. Anyway, this car's got 4 different new maps plus the original that was on the car, so we've got plenty of options to go and play with. So now I'm going to take the tool back over to the car and show you how you guys at home would then load it on. All right, back in the car we go. Device plugged back in. There's no need to leave it plugged in whilst you're waiting for a file. You can unplug it, that's fine. Let's go back into the PowerGate app. Skip that because we've already gone through all that, haven't we? And in here there should be some files ready for you. Okay, cokes. Got diagnostic trouble codes, which we can have a look in if you want. There we are. Highlight that, and then next. Ignition on. No diagnostic trouble codes found. Start scan to try again. So sometimes it's a good idea just to check that there are no underlying faults with your engine before going ahead and tuning something. Just because you don't have any faults, by the way, doesn't mean that there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but checking for fault codes is a good thing to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into the tuning. Connect your lead. Yep, got it. Importing the files. So the top one was to ID the vehicle, which we did earlier. The next one down was to read the current software and send it to us, Wraptor, the tuner. And this one here is to write the files on once we've received them, which we now should have. So we'll select that one, click next. Right, Okay, so these are the different files we can write on. So looks like there's 4 options. If you scroll up, there's 5. Okay, so we can send you up to 4 plus the original one for the car. So the original one is the stock file right there. Okay, this is an original file for the car that I've downloaded from our portal. Sometimes we can find an original file for a car if one's already been remapped. And that's the case with this car. It's already been remapped. So the stock file isn't actually standard. It's the original file that we started with before we plugged this tool in. That makes sense. Like cars that may be completely standard, which is why they call it a stock file. Other cars, well, perhaps if it's already been remapped, like this one. And then here's a brand new one that I've prepared and made myself today for the customer to try and see how it drives, see how it responds. Okie coke, so I'm going to load in the brand new one. The writing's a bit small, that's because I've made it very long explaining all the different things I've done. Really, this should say like XFR level 3 or level 2, nice and simple. But hey ho, there we go. So we're going to load this on the car now. Turn the ignition on. Okay. Proceed with the writing. Yes. Again, we're just adhering to the instructions on the screen, clicking along, turning the ignition off and on when it tells us to. So the ignition on, it already is. So there the ignition's on, the wipers went on their own, the ignition lights have gone off, but as far as I'm concerned, I left it on and I haven't touched it since. You can see the title I've added there in the clearer writing. So I've modified the file to just a level 1 tune, but I've also increased the fan and the top speed of the car, and the name was longer than that actually. It says no over. I've removed any overrun, which means there's no pops and crackles on this car on this particular file. And there we are, the ignition's come back on all by itself. I didn't touch anything. That's saying ignition off. Erase the errors. That's probably a good idea to do so. So we've got a nice clean slate. Ignition back on again, as it says. Ignition off. Success! Bear with it, make sure it's not going to make you turn the ignition off or on any more times. It may need you to. It's exporting the log, so it's telling Wraptor exactly what we've done to the car as well. There we are, back to the main menu. Exit. There we are. Okay. So, let's just pop the ignition on, stage by stage. I'm going to put my foot on the brake, check it starts. Okay, so it got me to recalibrate the parking brake then, simply by what the car told me to do on its dashboard. Now it's time for a careful road test, and it's worth making sure that all your under bonnet levels are okay, your coolant, your oil, etc. The car's all serviced and up to spec. Your tyre pressures are good, your tyres are good, and the car's safe as can be to drive. And don't go at it like a bat out of hell. Basically, let the car warm up gradually before putting your foot down and trying it, and then before switching it off, let it cool down gradually as well. Along with good maintenance and good quality fuel that we'd always recommend, always put the highest octane available in. That's the best way you can look after your car. The tunes are tried and tested. They've been done so many times before, and we'll be sending you files that have been tried and tested. The only thing we have to do is basically make sure that there's the correct software variant for your car before we send them over to you. The tunes will not break your car on their own, okay? Of course, it will put the engine and everything under more strain because it's giving it more power. You're hitting that hammer harder, but that's no excuse for bending a nail. That's down to the operator. You hit it skeweth with your hammer, you bend your nail. You hit it bang on, it's absolutely fine. Again, if you finesse the throttle, if you look after your car, the extra power, it can handle it. The software's good, it doesn't cause any issues. If you mistreat your car, poor servicing, underlying problems, rubbish fuel, slamming your foot down from cold, over revving it needlessly, driving it like an absolute hooligan needlessly, that can break the car. Of course it can. And the tune is just giving you more power, so even more force to potentially break the car. But the tune on its own, as long as you look after your car, it will not break them. They are tried and tested. So that's how to use the Powergate 4 mapping tool that'll speak to us remotely at Wraptor, and we ship this globally, all around the world, wherever you are. So it means you can have a remap if you're in the UK, if you're in the USA, Australia, somewhere in Europe, whatever. We can ship this to you and we can assist. If you've got any questions, please email us, info@wraptorcustoms.com. And if you would like to purchase this product, just jump on our online shop, which is www.wraptordesign.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Dud, Wraptor Customs.